What is up, y'all? We are here for our Saturday night secret sermon. It's after midnight. This is our Secret Teachings of Jesus segment of the week where we are delving into the Gnostic Gospels. We are in the Nag Hammadi scriptures, reading from the Gospel of Philip. And basically, I just always wanted to read all of these other gospels, and I didn't know when I would do it, make it a discipline, have time. So I thought it'd be fun to do this as a weekly segment together. So basically, I come in on Saturday night, usually I've been working or whatever, and I open up wherever we are as far as like what book we're in. And in the Gospel of Philip, there are these like small cryptic portions of text. So I usually just open up somewhere to something that's calling out to me. And when I start reading through it, I start getting the downloads and I just go ahead and start the camera and we just read it together. And I give you guys any insights I'm getting or that are coming through. But yeah, let's see. Anything else to note? I don't think so. So the Gospel of Philip is sort of these portions of text, and they're very esoteric, and they're very cryptic, and they're to be meditated on and mulled over. But they're also, when they found them, it looked like they weren't sure whether these were always supposed to be these like isolated pieces of thought that are like taken down like a writer's notes, or if they were just like isolated standalone things that are put into a collection. So a lot of these scrolls were found partially like damaged or incomplete, or in the times that they were hidden in haste. So I don't like that they might have been, even partially like removed and text removed even at that time. So some of these gospels they have missing pieces, or it's unclear about who the authorship is or whatnot. And so that's just a little bit of context. Okay, so this portion, and if you want to go to my channel, you will see the Secret Teachings of Jesus playlist. There are like over 100 videos in that playlist, and they're all from the Gospel of Philip and the Secret Book of James. Maybe a couple of other places, but that's mainly what we've been covering so far. And we are almost done with the Gospel of Philip. Y'all, when I say almost done, I mean in the course of like being in this book seemingly for like over a year now, we're nearing the end. I think we will be complete in like midsummer. So I'm excited about what to do next. There's like 2 or 3 books that I just want to do all at once. I'm so excited. So, all right, without further ado, let's get in it. So this portion is a little bit longer than the ones that we've had recently. And it's also more straightforward. It's not very layered and symbolic as much as it's food for thought. And so there's definitely layers to unpack. So I'm going to read this through once. And then there's also a bunch of footnotes in this portion. So I will play it by ear on whether or not I stop to read the footnotes. But if not, I will go back and read the footnotes. I think I'm just going to pause, refer to the footnotes as we go. We're really starting this time. Okay. So this portion is called Blessed is One Who Never Grieves Anyone. Now, the title, before I read through the portion, I thought it was going to be about like grieving a deceased person, like a person who's passed on, a person who's died. But thinking like, oh, they're not really gone, they're just like in their non-physical form, but it's not that kind of grieving. This is basically like a blessed is one who doesn't give anybody any grief. Blessed is one who doesn't stir up a bunch of shit. Blessed is the low key, where he is peaceful to be around, right? This is a person who ain't about a bunch of bullshit, right? They are not fucking with anyone. They're not doing bad things. They're not running any schemes. Like these are good people, okay? So blessed is one who never grieves anyone. Blessed is one who has never grieved a soul. This is Jesus Christ. This is how it's written. It's like, blessed is one who has never grieved a soul. This is Jesus Christ. He's like the one only person who has never grieved anyone. So blessed is one who has never grieved a soul. This is Jesus Christ. He came to the whole earth and never laid he came to the whole earth and never laid a burden upon anyone. Blessed is one like this, for this is a perfect human. This word, footnote, word as in the Logos, the divinely inspired word of God, the living word of God. So the living word of God, tells us how difficult it is to bring this about. The word tells us how difficult it is to bring this about. How can we accomplish such a feat? How can we give help to everyone? So there's another footnote here. How can we give help to everyone? Help is also understood to mean rest. Like resting. Like many times throughout Philip, it is referred to God's rest. And that's when you're at peace with yourself, or like peace with your situation. Like your soul is at rest. Like you're peaceful. Not like dead at rest, but like you're just chill, content, happy, sated, fulfilled, not flustered or worried about anything. You have rest. You are relieved. You are in grace. So the word tells us how difficult it is to bring this about. How can we accomplish such a feat? How can we give rest to everyone? To begin with, one must not cause grief to anyone, whether great or small, unbeliever or believer, and one must not give help to those who are well off. Or the help again is the same help as before. It's like rest, ease. So let's read that part again. To begin with, one must not cause grief to anyone, whether great or small, unbeliever or believer, and one must not give help to those who are well off. One must not give rest to those who are well off. There are some who profit by helping the rich. The person who does good deeds will not help the rich or give the rich rest, for this person will not take just anything that may be desirable. Nor can such a person cause them grief, since this person does not give them trouble. The new rich sometimes cause others grief, but the person who does good deeds does not do this. It is the wickedness of these people that causes their grief. The person with the nature of a perfect person, a perfect human, gives joy to the good, but some people are deeply distressed by this. This is like a big paragraph, and it's it's pretty laid out. It's pretty straightforward. Sometimes they're very cryptic and very symbolic and very like deep, but I don't think that this is super super deep. I think that one thing that we can understand too is that sometimes when they're saying like someone is poor or rich, a lot of times this can also be a reference to whether someone is poor in spirit or rich in spirit, or rich with like understanding and wisdom, and as opposed to someone who like doesn't have wisdom would be considered poor. But again, you can take that into account as we read through this. But I think that too, this talks about like, I think it touches on like corruption and how like think about the day that we live in now. Literally current events. When you're living in an oligarch, and there are different oligarchs around the world, you have like a government that's basically controlled by the richest people who own all the monopolies of all the industries in the country, right? And so we're facing that here now, where it's like the billionaire companies are basically like the lobbyists who own all of the government people who vote on everything, right? The legislation, the senators, the Congress people, all of the lobbying. Like, it's basically just buying their votes to pass bills. Like, for instance, in Tennessee, like, they won't legalize weed here, but there's like this legal version of cannabis that is passable, in like its potency before it's lit. And so it's like compliant, but they just passed a bill making it illegal starting next year. And it's like been something huge for our like already like our tourism down here, and like it's just like a economic boost to any state that has it. And it's better for the people, but the thing is, it's getting in the way of big alcohol. So a couple of years ago, it was actually big tobacco lobbying against the legalization of marijuana because they wanted the farm subsidies. And so they were basically like, the lobbyists pay, or, the senators and congressmen basically to like vote for or against these bills that are going to help big tobacco. Well, now recently, there's so many people like would rather just smoke a little bit of like weed or hemp rather than get drunk and have a hangover. And so people are drinking less. And it's been actually noticeable enough to like liquor companies and big liquor distributors and things, in at least in our region, in our state or whatever. So now big liquor, it has bought basically this bill to come into to pass to put, all these like farms and like distributors and all of the cool bars and dispensaries and things. Like, there's so much business here because of it now. And so they're all like fighting to, have this bill protected, or the legalization of it protected, but it's like the lobbyists are paying against it. So it's like conflicts of interest start coming up, but let's read the passage again, and then we'll get more into that when we get there. Okay. Blessed is one who never grieves anyone. Blessed is one who has never grieved a soul. This is Jesus Christ. He came to the whole earth and never laid a burden upon anyone. Blessed is one like this, for this is a perfect human. The word, or the Logos, tells us how difficult it is to bring this about. How can we accomplish such a feat? How can we give help to everyone? How can we give rest, peace to everyone? To begin with, one must not cause grief to anyone, whether great or small, unbeliever or believer. And one must not give help or rest to those who are well off, There are some who profit by helping the rich. The person who does good deeds will not help the rich, for this person will not take just anything that may be desirable. Nor can such a person cause them grief, since this person does not give them trouble. The new rich sometimes cause others grief, but the person who does good deeds does not do this. It is the wickedness of these people that causes the grief. The person with the nature of a perfect human gives joy to the good, but some people are deeply distressed by all of this. Okay, so blessed is one who has never grieved a soul. This is Jesus Christ. He came to the whole earth and never laid a burden upon anyone. Blessed is one like this, for this is a perfect human. So let's think about what is it to give grief to someone. It's like, this is wrongdoing. This is someone, because like Jesus, he came here and he grieved people. He had people arguing and fighting and just like families splitting apart, really drawing the line in the sand and bringing a lot of separation and division amongst people. However, he never did anything to harm someone or that would make them worse off than they are. He never did anything in malice toward anyone or like set out to harm someone, or like Jesus never exploited anyone or took advantage or lied or did anything underhanded. Blessed is one who has never grieved a soul. This is Jesus Christ. He came to the whole earth and never laid a burden upon anyone. Blessed is one like this, for this is a perfect human. So when it was important, Jesus was not shy about disagreeing or standing up for what was right. He also didn't die on every hill. Like he told his disciples, if people do not greet you with open arms, then get out and shake the dust off your feet. Like don't stick around pushing anything on anyone. So blessed is one who has never grieved a soul. This is Jesus Christ. He came to the whole earth and never laid a burden upon anyone. Blessed is one like this, for this is a perfect human. So it doesn't mean to be a doormat, right? We don't want to go like too far with the pendulum here, but it's just saying like, you're not fucking people over. You're not doing things that lead to their grief, like domino effect things, like you're not the one that has no couth, right? That's making someone just miserable casually. You're not an energy vampire, right? You're not like a narcissist, right? You're not being an a-hole. You're not like sucking the joy out of every situation. Like you're not being a burden to people. Like, yes, Jesus said things that like got people up in arms and it turned the world upside down. But most people would agreed that Jesus was like a charismatic person. He was a polite person. He could be in any room, in any, audience. Like he could hold court. Like he's an intelligent person and goodly. But he could still like create a lot of controversy too. So I think that it's interesting to look at the nuance of that and not take it in broad strokes. Blessed is one who has never grieved a soul. This is Jesus Christ. He came to the whole earth and never laid a burden upon anyone. Blessed is one like this, for this is a perfect human. Now, he didn't just stir up controversy for controversy's sake, though. What he was doing, and he wasn't just dividing people to be dramatic or to create division and, or anything like that. it was just a byproduct of what he was doing, which he came here to elevate the souls of mankind, redeem the souls of mankind, to awaken our consciousness, to elevate our consciousness, to make life better for people. And so, yeah, so he never did anything that would cause harm, even though things did create division and like turbulence and disagreements with people. It was for the betterment of mankind. It was to move the needle forward. It was to create evolution. But it was not to harm people or to do something nasty or mean-spirited or selfish in any way. So blessed is the one who has never grieved a soul. This is Jesus Christ. He came to the whole earth and never laid a burden upon anyone. Blessed is one like this, for this is a perfect human. Blessed is the low key who does not fuck with his brother. For he is blessed in spirit. Okay, so the word tells us how difficult it is to bring this about. I mean, we all know how difficult it is to bring this about. Think about just trying to go out running errands and going to the grocery store and getting through traffic and all of that. Like, think about how difficult it is to not grieve anyone else, bring grief to anyone else in all of that mess. Like, you know, you never like cut anybody off a little too tight or, you know. So it's nearly impossible to not bring grief to other people, or for people to not bring grief onto you, just like in a normal day to day. But like, think about that as like, you know, when we meet and people pass through our lives, how many come through and how difficult it is to not be offensive to anyone, like to not say anything that would, or not take any action that would end up harmful towards someone else. I mean, even the things that are benign that we say, that we're just like venting or whatever about like a coworker or something like that, that's considered evil tongue, even though we don't think about it that, like, we don't think about it with malice, or like, you know, we don't consider what we're doing. We don't realize the weight of it. Just those empty, idle words when we're just like, you know, and especially if we're talking to other people at work or in that environment, it can put a negative attention on that person that then can't be reversed after that, you know? So there's unintended consequences for so many things that we do to bring grief to other people all the time, and we don't even realize it. We don't realize until we stop and really start observing and slowing down what we might be doing that is bringing burdens and grief to others in the world. And the last thing we want to do is bring more negativity into this world where there's already too much as it is. We want to be transmuting that into goodness. So the word tells us how difficult it is to bring this about. How can we accomplish such a feat? How can we give rest to everyone? How can we be bringing peace to everyone around us? We can't be people pleasers, but Jesus wasn't either. Like we said, he disagreed with people. He pushed back. He challenged people. How can we give rest to everyone, though? I think we live and let live. I think that we can speak our truth and spread the light and set the example without projecting or judging or forcing or being controlling towards others. Sometimes easier said than done. I think that we can be at peace within ourselves, and our presence casts a feeling of peacefulness, and it radiates that vibration of peacefulness around us. And then it can actually like recalibrate the room that you're in, the space that you're in around people. So the stronger and the more sustaining your vibe is, the more power and influence it will have in the space that you're in. So consistency is key. So if you can maintain a feeling of inner peace and a sense of being regulated and chill, and you can just maintain that while things are chaotic around you, then that actually helps calm the space around you. So how can we give help to everyone? How can we give peace to everyone? Also, by helping people, by setting the example by the way that we live, to show people how the inner work and the inner process of like dying to the ego, all the work that we do, that's what helps us give peace, right? When we try to, with all the desire that we have to become more like the Creator, to become more like Jesus, to become more like Christ consciousness, it helps alleviate the suffering that comes from being in resistance and being ego driven and being fear driven and like neurotic and all of those things, right? So that brings rest. And so all of that healing, if we can share that roadmap or set that example for others to see and be curious and ask about it, like, what do you do? If they come to you, then they have the desire, they have the curiosity, right? But you're not forcing, you're not pushing. So yeah, you can set that example and then be there for when people want to know, okay, well, how do I create this within myself? Okay, well, then you start undoing the knots and the chaos, right? And you start to alleviate all of that creates the not rest. And so you just show them how, or help lead them to ways to learn how for themselves. Okay, so to begin with, one must not cause grief to anyone, whether great or small. So don't be trifling with anybody, whether they're important or not important in the eyes of the world, whether they're rich people or poor people, whether they have status or credibility or leadership or power or none, right? Whether they're the president of the company or the person who comes in and cleans the building at night. It doesn't matter. You're not messing with anyone. You're not exploiting the poor and uneducated and price gouging or putting poison in their food and things like that. You're not overworking someone and underpaying them, right? You're not sabotaging a person in power or wealth either. You're not doing active acts of aggression or badness towards anyone, whether they're great or small. This is pacifism. So to begin with, one must not cause grief to anyone, whether great or small, unbeliever or believer. So you are not, it doesn't matter whether they're a believer or a non-believer, or if they have the same beliefs as you or different beliefs as you. This is literally saying, like, do not harass people for having different beliefs than you. Do not bring people grief because they don't believe the same thing as you. Don't be a bigot. Don't be a trifling, you know what, like just don't, whether they're a believer or non-believer. And one must not give help to those who are well off. So one must not give rest to those who are well off. So it's like one must not go out of your way to prop up the already mega wealthy or the mega, like, people who already have it easy and they have it made. It's like, don't set up a system that helps them get richer and richer and richer off the backs of other people. Don't set up a system that gives wealthy people vouchers to help pay for their private school while taking all the funding out of public schools. Don't do things to protect big food companies and big pharma companies that actually are harming the people in our land, right? Industrial farming, exhausting the soil, killing the vital insects we need, like bees, right? That we need. So passing like bills and laws and doing all these corrupt, systematic, organized whatever you want to call it, support conspiracy, whatever, for all of these mega rich, mega wealthy, mega powerful few people on earth at the expense of all the other people. This is what this passage is about. It's like, no, we're not trying to just prop up the wealthy and make life easier for them. How about we're not giving you unfair tax breaks, while taxing people already struggling for every cent that they have. So to begin with, one must not cause grief to anyone, whether great or small, unbeliever or believer, and one must not give rest to those who are well off. There are some who profit by helping the rich. Lobbyists lobbying, corrupt politicians who help the rich and profit because of it. What was that bill that was passed this year that you can now just like bribe a judge, bribe the attorneys, give them like gifts and tips and like, what? This is just out in the open now. Just blatant, out in the open. There are some who profit by helping the rich. The person who does good deeds will not help the rich, for this person will not take just anything that may be desirable. So this person is not just easily bought and easily selling out and so quick to sell everybody else out and throw everybody else under the bus to help the rich people, to hoping to get something. People that do good deeds, they can't be bought. They're not corrupt. They're not rushing to be the lackey or the errand boy or the whatever you want to call it for, big anything. Hoping to get a cut, of the blood money. There are some who profit by helping the rich. The person who does good deeds will not help the rich, for this person will not take just anything that may be desirable. Now, I want to just point out that we're not saying that all rich people are inherently evil or wicked, but this is using that archetypal idea of the rich, powerful, wealthy class, that can get tunnel vision, right? Nor can such a person cause them grief, since this person does not give them trouble. So it's basically saying, like, don't give wealthy people grief and don't help them either. Don't be on their radar. It's like when you, like, people in the mafia movies, when they get stuck with the mafia people, it's like they've either owe them a favor or the mafia does them a favor, and so then they end up like just all these strings attached and they can't get away from it, right? But if you just fly under the radar, you're not like giving people up in their face, giving them grief, and you're also not helping them either. You're just staying off the radar. You're staying out of it, staying out of their situation. They can't come after you and give you grief for anything because you haven't caused them any trouble, right? So this is 101 for everything that's going on right now out in this world. It's so crazy. It's like things are just exactly like they were in biblical times. It's just so weird. So, nor can such a person cause them grief, since this person does not give them trouble. The new rich sometimes cause others grief, but the person who does good deeds does not do this. So the new rich sometimes cause others grief. Modern examples of this include people who want to be celebrities that aren't really they're not A-list people, and they're not like really talented like actors or anything. They're just like reality stars, and they're maybe not even like the biggest ones in that arena. Like, they're always the ones who act like such divas and who are throwing attitude and fits, who just like are really needy and like, just fussy, and they want to be treated like star treatment. But it's always like the mega like people who are absolute powerhouse talents, who are world famous, who are the freaking salt of the earth, who are so amazing, classy, class acts, like so polite, so like humble. It's like that every time. It's like the person who's on the D list that really wants to like be seen as this like star. They're always awful. And the people who have real talent and real money and real pedigree, they're usually just thick as thieves, kind, nice, generous, easy going. Like, it's so true. But the new rich sometimes cause others grief. As a person who has worked in film, I can attest for that. But also as a person who's worked as a server in the service industry, people who have had money for a long time and it's not a thing for them, it's not a thing for them. And they're just polite. They're just good at having a meal. Like, they're professional diners. They know how to order. They know how to like follow the process of the restaurant, not fight at every step. And they're not trying to prove anything. And they're not trying to like be in like an emotional battle or like one up you or have like some kind of like power struggle or anything. They're just chill. But if you get people who have like just gotten money, who haven't had money, and they have a chip on their shoulder. Sorry, my leg is like so asleep. Sometimes they are such like, I don't know, they're just trying to be something that they think they should be being, and then they end up being an asshole. They're rude, and so it's like so funny. It's like when somebody gets this like a quick taste of like power or talent or money that they didn't work for, or that they haven't learned to navigate with grace. It's like, they can use it. It can like corrupt them and defile them quickly, and it can start to make them treat others poorly. So the new rich sometimes cause others grief, but the person who does good deeds does not do this. It is the wickedness of these people that causes their grief. It's like saying like these people are like, it's like their misery that makes them do this, that makes them grieve other people, that makes them act up and like be difficult. But also it's that vicious cycle of like how them causing other people's grief just continues to bring more grief on them. And it's the same like when we can all be these people, because when we are like doing negative actions or having negative consciousness or doing negative speech, we're like sowing seeds of chaos that come back on us. And so by giving other people grief, when you judge someone else, you're going to be judged. When you do something shitty to somebody, like, you're going to get that karma come back to you. So it's like, if you're a good person doing good deeds and you have the fruits of the Spirit, so it's like your love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, self-control, like, these things produce good deeds. You're gonna be a not asshole person, generally being pretty chill and good and sharing and not causing people grief, right? Not doing ill to people. But if you don't have any of those fruits, if you don't have any of those virtues, then you're going to act like a fucking asshole everywhere you go. You're going to be the Karens of the world. And the volume is turned up really high on just shittiness and nastiness these days. And it's so unpleasant. It's just so unpleasant. It is the wickedness of these people that cause their grief. The person with the nature of a perfect human gives joy to the good. But some people are deeply distressed by all this. So funny the way it's written. Yes, the perfect person, the person that has activated the fruits of the Spirit, like I was talking about earlier, they go into a space and their energy, it just radiates goodness. And it radiates peace, and it actually brings peace and goodness around them. And their vibration like elevates other people's vibration, and it influences people even like subliminally to want to be better, to want to do better. But then some people are deeply distressed by all this. Some people are annoyed by good people who do good things. Some people are just, they can't help but be distressed by the assholes out there doing all the bad things. Like, I get it. It's some people are just distressed by all this. All right, let's read this one more time. I think we're out of it. I think we're out of here. Blessed is one who never grieves anyone. Blessed is one who has never grieved a soul. This is Jesus Christ. He came to the whole earth and never laid a burden upon anyone. Blessed is one like this, for this is a perfect human. The word tells us how difficult it is to bring this about. How can we accomplish such a feat? How can we give rest to everyone? To begin with, one must not cause grief to anyone, whether great or small, unbeliever or believer. And one must not give help to those who are well off. There are some who profit by helping the rich. The person who does good deeds will not help the rich, for this person will not take just anything that may be desirable. Nor can such a person cause them grief, since this person does not give them trouble. The new rich sometimes cause others grief. But the person who does good deeds does not do this. It is the wickedness of these people that cause their grief. The person with the nature of a perfect human gives joy to the good. But some people are deeply distressed by all of this. It's funny. All right. That's all for tonight. We will be back tomorrow for our weekly energy oracle forecast, where we will be looking ahead at the next 7 or 8 days to see what kind of energetic weather we will be living and moving and having our being in. Until then, peace.